Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at people who have some crazy tea to spill. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. 50-year-old teacher hooked up with his student. He gave her an STD and then his wife murdered him. Wow. Deserved it though. I didn't see the accident, but while living in Jamaica, I saw a man carrying a mangled body just walking in the country. I later learned they were brothers and worked construction together. One brother fell from a great height and the other brother was just carrying his body, walking towards the hospital even though the brother had died on impact. He was just in a terrible sad mania. That is so sad, dude. The fact that he probably knew but he just doesn't want to believe it. Man. That little bit of hope he held on to. That's so sad. Seeing someone that you love die in front of you like that. That's terrible. In my hometown, the mayor's kid got drunk and killed someone in a hit and run. He got a slap on the wrist and the mayor was re-elected. Wow. Of course. Of course. If you have power and if you're rich, you can get away with a lot of things. Woman calls her mother at 3 a.m, tells her to come get the kids, kills herself. Her husband was found upstairs hidden under a pile of blankets, stabbed a ridiculous number of times. Rumor has it the guy was a special ed teacher and the wife found out he had been molesting and assaulting some of his students. Whoa! Dude, man, the fact that she killed her husband because he's a terrible human being and then she feels the need to just not be here anymore because she killed her husband. Like, she got rid of someone bad, but she has to feel that guilt to the point where she just herself. My small town, New Year's Eve 1998, a bunch of grade 11 and 12 and some first year college students were having a party. The parents knew about it but were out of town, so they asked one of the neighbors to check on the kids. They knew there would be alcohol. The neighbor went to check as asked, but whatever went down is still a bit murky. Apparently there was a lot of cocaine involved. A fight broke out and the neighbor was killed. A code of silence fell over every teenager in town. Even if you weren't at the party, you knew someone who was, another neighbor, a sibling, your old babysitter, etc. We had endless assemblies at school about code of silence and how it hurts more in the end. It took several years, but they eventually get the guy responsible. We all knew who it was, but they needed solid evidence. It was a wild case and it was the talk of town for years. Seriously, the neighbors just went to check on them and then everyone was crazy and they just killed him, right? Not in the right mind. Probably like, you know, who are you to tell us what to do? Like, what are you doing? And then I guess people just get angry very quickly. I feel so bad. There was a fetish burglar who terrorized my hometown and broke into around 150 homes. My mum was terrified for years. Super creepy stuff like taking small personal items, stalking, eating food from fridges, laying out panties down the hall in a pattern, tearing up photos, etc. My house and my grandmother's were in his hunting zone. The cops downplayed it. He was caught 40 years later and is now known as the Golden State Killer. What? The serial killer? Thank gosh. Like nothing happened to these people. Man, I feel bad to the people that weren't so lucky. That is actually creepy. The fact that they would do all that to scare people. Like leave their mark. They weren't even scared to get caught. They just kept leaving their mark. What? My job just had me train a guy who quit after a week and then murdered one of his family members. Dang, you just never know who you're dealing with. Like you won't even know if you walk past a serial killer. The crows have taught themselves to bark exactly like my dog when she's being fierce. They fly over her head barking loudly at her, which upsets her sister and the neighbor's dogs. Total chaos. Oh, I totally forgot crows can actually like talk too if you teach them. Isn't that crazy? Like I didn't know that. But dude, crows can mimic sounds. That's crazy. Man, the crows are probably just like, hey, look, the dog's barking, let's annoy the dog. Honestly, crows are nice to you if you're nice to them. So don't be mean to crows, okay? Because they are vengeful. If you're mean to them once, they'll remember you forever. They're gonna bring their kids, their grandpa, their grandma, their mother, their dad, and hunt for you. Some asshole threw out his son during winter. The son froze to death. It took place in Russia, a town where my grandparents lived. Are you kidding me? Why would you throw your kid out like that? A freaking toy or something? Especially in winter? Parents like these, they don't deserve anything good in life, alright? When I was a sophomore in high school, there was a lady cop who actually went undercover in our school. I never once met or saw her personally, and apparently she got in with the burnouts and cool guys that sold and did drugs. One day they came to our school and arrested like 20 kids in the middle of class. One was arrested in my second period Spanish class. Cops showed up and asked for him and told him to go with them, and he walked up calmly and they pounced, throwing him against the wall and slapping on cuffs in front of a room full of about 25 to 30 students. One kid jumped out a window trying to escape. Wow! Dude, I didn't know undercovers happened in school. I thought, you know, it was only in like, what, like mafias and gangs and stuff, right? School? That's crazy. Seriously. I thought those only happened in movies, man. You know? What's that movie called again? 2 or 3 high schoolers set up a drug deal where they'd supply the product. The person buying, also in high school, had about 20k on them. They ended up robbing the kid, shot him dead, digging a hole and lighting the remains on fire. They then go to a car dealer, pay cash, and I'm not sure what kind of car, Beamer maybe. They were caught, obviously. Killing a kid and trying to get rid of him. Wow. So you do that for money and then what? You're gonna spend your life in jail? I'm like, how's that worth it? An entire family got murdered and their house burned down. Everyone thought it was the dad, but it turned out to be the uncle who was involved in a gang and did it as a part of initiation. What the heck? Thank gosh that, you know, the dad didn't get charged, because I feel like sometimes people get charged innocently. Oh, jeez. My English teacher went to our high school and had lived in our town most of her life. She told us the story from when she was in our high school. There was a well-known couple at the time, typical cheerleader and a football star type deal. They were sort of off and on again, but it was obvious they did care about each other despite teenage drama. Well, at a point they were off again. She went on a date with a new guy. He drugged and sexually assaulted her. She came home in tears to her older brother and told him what happened. Older brother said he'd handle it. He called the on-off boyfriend, who was also enraged. They both knew the guy who did it, so they pretended to invite him out to a bonfire. The boyfriend picked him up in his truck and drove him to the bonfire. The bonfire was a stump in the middle of nowhere on a family member's property. They chained the guy to it and both took turns hitting his crotch with a sledgehammer. They untied him when they were done and left him there. He ended up at the ER later that night. The boyfriend and brother both knew the sheriff because small town, so they called the sheriff to tell him exactly what they did and why. When he showed up to the hospital, the guy tried to explain what happened, but the sheriff said, "Sounds to me like a domestic issue," and refused to charge the boyfriend or brother with anything because there was no proof of what happened. The guy got fixed up at the hospital as much as they could and left town shortly after graduation. Boyfriend and girlfriend get back together and didn't break up again. They got married after college, have kids, happy ending. Aw, small town justice is very, very real, dude. I'm so glad they got the happy ending. Man, that guy deserved it. Someone who would do anything for you when you get hurt, man, good on them, seriously. Took justice into their own hands. Because I swear, I feel like even if that guy got arrested, he would have just gotten off free. It always happens. Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!